Hey guys, how's it going? I apologize for not having a camera. My computer seems to be fucked up for some reason, so I hate to deny you my dashing good looks, but you're just gonna have to settle with my voice for this review of Royal Rumble 2014. Gotta say, the show was pretty damn interesting. In many ways, it was like a completely flawed show, complete bullshit, terrible booking decisions, but at the same time, I actually have to say I did actually enjoy the show. One of the reasons for it is because I think this could be a significant show in the future of the WWE. When I was watching this show, one thing that I kept on thinking to myself was, when they release the DVD of this pay-per-view, are they going to like dub over all the crowd chants, all the boring chants, all the Daniel Bryan chants all throughout the Royal Rumble, John Cena and Randy Orton's match, and when Batista won it and they were booing him? Are they going to dub over all of this bullshit, or are they actually going to leave the crowd sounds in? And why this to me is very important is because Royal Rumble 2014 was basically the WWE's audience saying that they do not like the current product. It's as simple as that. I don't even think that it's necessarily all about Daniel Bryan. And the reason why Daniel Bryan is over is just because he's new, and the fans know that he's getting fucked over in real life legitimately by the powers that be. It's kind of sad to think that in a way they actually have a very good storyline in terms of you have quite a kind of shoot style reality where Daniel Bryan is genuinely being held down because of his size, and he hasn't got what the WWE want, that traditional look. He was big on the indies before coming to WWE, so he's not made by the company themselves. You've got a lot of real aspects that they could be using, and they're just not really taking advantage of that, quite simply because they do not want Daniel Bryan to be the guy, and it's a fucking outrageous decision. And tonight is basically proof that the WWE have fucked things up. You know, to me, I always hear the same thing. Oh, you know, it's just the internet fans. You know, these fans, they don't know the reality. They don't know business. You know, they don't know what they want. The fact that pretty much for the last 2 or 3 pay-per-views and many times on Raw, the fans basically just shit on every single thing that the WWE have offered them says so much to me. And hopefully, the reason why I do maybe did enjoy Royal Rumble 2014, hopefully this show will be a pivotal moment and maybe a change in the direction of the WWE, because they can no longer go on like this and just flat out ignore young talent like Daniel Bryan. You know, can't think of a single time in wrestling history where somebody's been as over as Daniel Bryan and then deliberately not pushing him to the top. You know, usually if you're a business and your audience or your customers like something, you market that to them and make money out of it. That's the way you do it. What company would have demand from a fucking customer and not give them the supply for that? You know, I always use an analogy. It's a bit dumb. Like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. They always give everyone vanilla, but so all of a sudden people start to like pralines and cream or cookies and cream and shit. Haagen-Dazs would be idiots if they did not market those 2 new flavors because everyone's sick of vanilla. You know, frankly, vanilla will be around forever, whereas somebody like John Cena or Batista will not be around forever. So it's a poor analogy because it's even more damaging what the WWE are doing. What company does not give its customer what it wants? And the customer right now for the WWE quite obviously wants Daniel Bryan, and the WWE refuses to give it to them. So this show, to me, raises a lot of questions, and maybe the WWE are just completely hoodwinking all of us. I'd love to think that, but come on, knowing the WWE's track record, that's not going to fucking happen. The WWE are just going to give us whatever the fuck that they want to give us, whether we like it or not. But maybe there's some grand master plan. Who knows? One thing I will give the WWE credit for is that everybody's talking about this show, everybody's talking about the Royal Rumble, and in a way that does say a lot. So I'll get to the card. I will admit, of course, I'm pissed off at the whole New Age Outlaws winning the title belts wasn't on the pay-per-view itself. To me, that's just stupid, giving that match away for free, that pop for free. Kind of just dumb, so I'm kind of pissed off they did that, especially considering 1 or 2 matches dragged on for a bit, and I think the show ended maybe 20 minutes before it could have done. So I was angry that this match wasn't on the card. Do I object to the Rhodes brothers losing the belts? Well, yes and no, but if they set up a match for WrestleMania, brother versus brother, fuck it, that sounds kind of cool. And maybe they'll have the New Age Outlaws turn heel and maybe lose the belts to the Usos or something at WrestleMania 30. That would be pretty cool. Then we got the first proper match of the night, and this is again kind of one of the reasons why this pay-per-view was not that bad. You had Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, and this is a fucking great match. You know, you had two wrestlers just go at it in their suitable styles, their juxtaposing styles. What do you call it? Bray Wyatt really reminds me a hell of a lot of Mick Foley, just like a badass. I love his style. Very different from what you're usually used to seeing at this point in time. He does legit seem like a badass. Obviously, Daniel Bryan's the most over guy in the company. He's a fantastic wrestler. They told a really great story, really good psychology. Kind of reminded me a bit of a match, I think Mind Games 1996, HBK versus Mankind. Check that match out, it's fucking good. Really reminded me of that a lot. Just those two styles going up against each other. And, in a way, I'm a bit pissed off that Daniel Bryan lost because they're just fucking burying him, and that really annoys me. But, in a way, that does actually get him over a hell of a lot. And let's not forget, to me, the main reason why Daniel Bryan, skyrocketed into the stardom was because he got fucked over at WrestleMania 28, losing in like 10 seconds or whatever to Sheamus. The fans know Daniel Bryan is getting cock-blocked, and as a result, the fans like it. Like, maybe the WWE are playing the absolute shit out of us. I don't know, but they need to realise that the fans are smart to the way the industry works. We know if Daniel Bryan is not winning the belt, it's not because he can't out-wrestle somebody or he's not tough enough. We know it's because businessmen in fucking suits looking at broadsheets are making the decisions about who should be at the top, and that basically takes away from the kind of sport element of the WWE, the competitive nature. The whole point of wrestling, in my opinion, is that it feels like a real sport. When we all know that this guy is not winning things, not because he's not good enough in the ring, but because some fucking businessman doesn't think that he's suitable to be the champion, that basically just fucks up the whole perception of wrestling. And maybe the WWE could play on that, play on the fact that they know what the internet fans are talking about, which is such a ridiculous term because everybody uses the internet now. And as far as I'm concerned, an internet fan is somebody who cares so much about the product they're watching that they actually go online and fucking talk about it. That's a good thing. That's a loyal fan, and the way that the WWE just shits all over these people fucking pisses me off all the time. I'm pretty angry that Daniel Bryan lost this match, but having said that, Bray Wyatt looked great. Later on in the night, he came out and beat the fuck out of Cena, so maybe they're going to have some cool match at WrestleMania between those two. God knows whether they'll just feed Bray Wyatt to Cena and have him lose. That would be a massive error, but I wouldn't put that past fucking WWE. And I have actually watched Monday Night Raw the night afterwards, and it looks like we're going to have the Shield versus the Wyatt family at an Elimination Chamber, probably Bray Wyatt picking up the pin. So it looks like they're really going to push Bray Wyatt, and I'm all for that because I like the guy, I like his character a lot. Again, I'm a big Mick Foley fan. He's a very underrated wrestler, as is that kind of style of wrestler. You need those tough guys who look like they're badasses, and really hard to beat, and I think Bray Wyatt's got that. So in a way, I'm just about tolerant of that match and the result. I mean, it was a fantastic match, but the result kind of annoyed me. But they could have gotten away with that had they put Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble, which they fucking didn't. The next match was Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show. Excuse me. This match to me was kind of fucking stupid. Like, it was okay. You had Big Show get his ass kicked a bit with the chair. I'm so sick of chair shots in the WWE. It's just like, if Brock Lesnar's such a sick badass and he beats the fuck out of people, why does he keep on hitting Big Show in the foot or the back? Why doesn't he just smack him in the head? Obviously he doesn't smack him in the head because it's PG, but it just comes across as so unrealistic. It just looks stupid hitting this guy on the back of the leg all the time when you can just smack him once in the head and knock him the fuck out. So that was kind of annoying. The match itself was short and sweet to the extent it didn't need to go on very long. And Brock Lesnar did a really awesome, badass F5. Picked him up pretty quickly. He looked like he was going to fall over, and he managed to maintain his balance and F5 him, and that was a pretty cool spot. Then you just got 5 minutes or so of Brock Lesnar smacking with a chair, which looked kind of stupid. So that was pretty much overkill. And, in a way, I'll take it. Brock Lesnar did look a bit of a badass, I guess. But Big Show, what a failure he's been. An absolute fucking failure, Big Show. To think that this guy was basically stealing Daniel Bryan's heat and main eventing Survivor Series, one of the worst matches I've ever seen. Then he's like in a nappy or some bollocks at New Year's Eve, Raw. I mean, just another fucking abject failure of the WWE, the Big Show, quite frankly, and the push that he got. So I'm glad Brock Lesnar just kicked his ass, and no one cares. Pretty much every face the WWE tries to push other than maybe CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. The fans just don't care because they know that these faces are kind of a part of the WWE's master plan, you know, and no one really gives a shit. So fuck Big Show, and I'm glad Brock Lesnar beat him up. Excuse me. Then we had the fucking most anticipated rematch in WWE history, as Stephanie McMahon said in the intro, which is just fucking laughable. I mean, it's just pathetic how they're trying to push these matches. It's depressing. It's just absolutely laughable how they're trying to hoodwink the fans. And this is why the fans shit all over this match, because of the way that the amount of tension that it gets given to these two guys that we've seen so many times. And this is why, even though in many ways this pay-per-view is a disaster, I'll come away liking the pay-per-view. It's just to hear the crowd during this match was amazing. It's like I said, if they keep this kind of stuff in the DVD, and maybe they're not idiots and actually listen to the fans for once, this match and this night could be a real pivotal moment in WWE's history if they play it right. You know, I've never seen in my entire life as a wrestling fan like a match where basically the two wrestlers have been completely ignored and they're chanting for another wrestler. I don't think I've ever really seen that before. So the fact that this is happening to Daniel Bryan is just as much evidence as you need that he should be a top guy. And there's just no fucking excuse to say that Daniel Bryan should be a top guy. There's just none. Like, it's just this. It's so insulting to insinuate that the fans don't know what they want. You know, I know what I want, and I want to see Daniel Bryan win the fucking title. That is what I want. That's what shitloads of people want. How can you tell me that I'm wrong? It's a completely subjective thing, you know. And I'm sorry, again, if you're a business, you give the customer what it wants. I'm sure that's like rule number one in any like economics class you could possibly find. So, you know, the fact that this match just got the shit booed out of it, and you had Daniel Bryan chants throughout it, even though it's a dreadful match, I enjoyed it just for that. I mean, that was epic. Oh man, John Cena is done. Like, his time is not anymore. It's not fucking now. Like, John Cena is done. Like, at least a year or two ago, you put John Cena in a match, the crowd are shitting on him, they're booing him, maybe you got the people trying to fight up for John Cena. Now, he doesn't really get that much reaction. If I remember correctly, he only had perhaps maybe one or two Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks chants throughout the whole match. Usually, just a couple years ago, maybe people would still get into it, and they chant that throughout the whole thing. People don't care about Cena anymore. You know, they always say that it's pathetic. You know, they did this at Raw, they did this at the Royal Rumble, like, oh, the fans, you know, at least they're making noise about Cena. You know, not anymore, mate. Bit by bit, fans are not even booing him anymore. We are sick and tired of this guy. And, you know, hopefully the WWE is smart enough to maybe have him come up against Wyatt, Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and have him lose to him. But, you know, I just wouldn't put it past the WWE to just have Cena win again. And it's just pointless. It's done. It's over. Like, again, sure, they're right. If people are hating on Cena, he's got something. People aren't even hating him that much anymore. People are just like, finito. It's done. It's over. Cena is done. You know, at least I hope the WWE can get that into a thick fucking head. And I'll give Randy Orton credit, even though I'm kind of sick of him too. He played off really well with the crowd. And that's because he's a natural talent. He's a natural gifted wrestler, like unlike John Cena. And I thought it was kind of funny. Randy Orton put on the STFU on Cena, and he did it way better than I've ever seen Cena do it himself. And that's because Orton is a natural, and Cena is a fake. He's a fraud. Although, you know, having said that, I still don't think Cena's that terrible. But he's done, and this match to me was amazing to watch, just because it was basically the WWE audience. The fans, they're all internet fans, but yeah, they paid to see, you know, fucking the Royal Rumble, travelled halfway across the country, bought tickets, but no, they're just internet fans, right? They're just smart marks, the majority of the crowd who boo the shit out of this thing. So, you gotta wake up, WWE, because this is just crazy to see this stuff, so kind of entertaining. I think then we had the Royal Rumble match itself, which I actually don't think it was that bad. Again, we didn't have any cool surprise entrants for the second year in a row. Kevin Nash, come on, we've seen him before. That thing with JBL coming in and getting, you know, knocked out immediately was dumb. You know, you could have given that spot to somebody like Jake Snake Roberts or like fucking Ultimate Warrior. Virgil, that would have been hilarious having Virgil on that thing, because he's kind of popular at the moment on the internet. You know, so they could have some cool surprise entrants. Didn't. Could have had some cool returning stars, like maybe RVD or Jericho. I guess we got Sheamus, although I don't think anyone really gives a fuck, myself included. So really, not that many surprises or comeback stars. But I will give credit to the WWE, because they did actually pretty much almost every wrestler that was in that Royal Rumble kind of looked like they could maybe steal the show, apart from the odd exception. So I at least like that most of the stars kind of had a chance. They fucked Ziggler over. You know, it was funny. Like, awesome hacksaw Jim Duggan said he wanted Ziggler to win. Ziggler got a massive pop. Yet another wrestler the WWE have just shat all over. Like, oh my god! Every time I see Ziggler, I think back last year's Royal Rumble. Ziggler was in the last four. He was started. I think he was number one. And he lasted to the last four. He just beaten John Cena at TLC. He was using the super kick. You know, he then won the World Heavyweight Champion the night after WrestleMania. Got one of the most incredible pops I've ever seen in my life. He then had a pretty successful face turn. And then nothing. And you're just like, this is exactly why I actually kind of despise the WWE. Just the way that they just never capitalize on anything. Why? Because they don't fucking like Ziggler for whatever reason. You know, he's not doesn't suck Vince's dick or something. You know, who the fuck knows why? But yet another wrestler buried, and he got buried again tonight. The Royal Rumble, Fandango, remember that? You know, this basically Chris Jericho loses to Fandango at WrestleMania. Massive like moment, technically speaking, for Fandango. His chance over shit. And then in this match, he gets eliminated by El Torito, which is just... Fandango's career is unfortunately over. Same thing goes to Damien Sandow. He gave this guy the Money in the Bank briefcase. Fucking jobs to goddamn fucking John Cena. He gets chucked out. No one gives a fuck. Del Rio's in this thing. He also fucking jobbed to Cena. No one gives a shit about him. Ryback. Fucking last year. Ryback was the last man in the Royal Rumble with John Cena. Where the fuck is he now? Do you just see a common pattern? All of these stars that the WWE goes with, just they fucking pull out. They have no idea how to capitalize on momentum, and to think they still keep on going with this, you know, fucking Big Show, Randy Orton, John Cena bullshit. And then they just keep on going back to the same old shit, and they can't even do that right, because they actually did have something with the whole Big Show storyline for Survivor Series, and then they completely fucked it up. So this company is a disgrace. It has no idea how to push new stars, and the reason why is they don't really give a fuck, because they'll go back to the safe option, the safe bet. They'll make a profit. There's no competition to them. Wrestling is fucking dead because of Vince McMahon's, you know, destroying all of his competition. You know, I don't want to get into like an economic conversation, but this is precisely why I kind of hate corporate capitalism. These multinational companies that could just gobble up the competition. They have monopolies. They own the whole market. And the fans don't really get what they want. You know, the fans suffer as a result. The customer suffers as a result. You know, that the old adage, competition leads to better product, is true. But also what happens is when the big fucking companies destroy all competition, they can kind of fuck with the system, keep the competition down, and the customer doesn't really benefit. And this is exactly what happens with the WWE. They want to gobble up every last penny of the wrestling industry to fucking fulfill their greed and their ego, and as a result the wrestling fans suffer. So the state of wrestling is in a fucked up state right now, and I'm really hoping it can change, but who knows? Like, maybe tonight's show was the night that all changed, because you have to be an idiot to come away from that show thinking it was a success, because it wasn't. And yeah, you know, so many young stars in this match who were hot last year just got ignored and thrown out cheaply. I will admit the Shield looked pretty good. Rollins looked great. Punk looked alright. Could have done a lot better. He actually did one or two kind of heely things in this match. I think he like kind of pushed El Torito around. I think he interrupted a Cesaro swing, which is sacrilege. So that was kind of weird, you know. Again, him eliminated by fucking Corporate Kane. I mean, what, they're gonna have No Way Out, gonna have Kane versus fucking No Way Out Elimination Chamber, Kane versus CM Punk. I don't want to fucking see it. I don't want to see goddamn CM Punk versus Triple H. Maybe I do if CM Punk kicks the fuck out of Triple H's ass. I originally wanted the main event of WrestleMania to be John Cena versus Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk in a triple threat match. I really want to see CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan in the main event. That would have been an amazing wrestling match. Could have done a cool storyline about them both being indie stars and then making it to the WWE in the main event of WrestleMania, but obviously the WWE wouldn't do that because it shines light on a product other than theirs, the cunts. I would have liked that, and yeah, chuck fucking Cena in there because he's probably going to have to main event. So I would have liked that, main event of WrestleMania, and you could probably have had Cena win the belt tonight. Daniel Bryan win maybe CM Punk could have won the Royal Rumble, and then you could have had some shit with Daniel Bryan saying I'm the guy who deserves to be, and then maybe you have Daniel Bryan beat Triple H at Elimination Chamber to get a main event title shot, and then you have that cool triple threat match, which who knows could still happen, probably not. But I would have loved to have seen that fucking match. But it won't happen. It can't happen because the WWE, surely not that fucking stupid. But obviously Batista wins the Royal Rumble to absolutely no reaction, and now we're going to have Randy Orton versus Batista in the main event of WrestleMania. It won't happen. I cannot see it happening, because if they have the same shit that happened tonight in the main event of WrestleMania, remember, if there's going to be any crowd that's going to be smart marks and internet fans who are going to be vocal, it's going to be the WrestleMania crowd. Yeah, the diehard fans who pay all their hard-earned money to go hop across the world to see WrestleMania. They don't matter. No, they're just the smart mark fans, because those fans don't matter. But that fucking crowd would boo the shit out of Randy Orton and Batista in the main event, especially if Batista won it. So surely the WWE are going to backtrack. They won't, because they're dumb fucks, but if they had any sense, they'd capitalise on this night and just switch fucking everything around. And if they do that, maybe, you know, they could wing it a bit. But as far as I'm concerned, Daniel Bryan, I've said it before, has to be champion at the end of WrestleMania. Probably won't happen because they're fucking assholes, but that's what I think must happen. And yeah, obviously Daniel Bryan didn't appear in the Royal Rumble. I thought that was ridiculous. You know, everyone cheering for him. Why can't, you know, that's the thing, he could have lost to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt could have gone over. Then Daniel Bryan could be the surprise 30th entrant and then just gone on to win it, and everyone had gone fucking ape shit, and that would have been awesome. But no, when the 30th man came and Daniel Bryan didn't come out, everyone just started booing the fucking shit out of it. It was pretty entertaining. You know, then you had Roman Reigns doing pretty well. I've got to admit, 12 eliminations, beating Kane's record. Good stuff. Roman Reigns looked pretty badass. I like the look of him. Bit by bit, he's more and more convincing me that actually he could really be a big main event player. Improves his mic skills. You know, he could be right up there. I actually quite like his wrestling style, so he looked fantastic. And yeah, you know, for a moment I thought, fuck, maybe if they had any sense, they'd have had Roman Reigns just win it. They'd have just said, Batista be like, obviously Batista's not going to do it because he's a selfish money-grabbing arsehole. But Batista could have been like, oh, you go over, you need it more than me. This is never going to fucking happen. That would have been awesome if that had happened, but obviously not, because the WWE, everything's scripted to the fucking most minutest detail, so never anything changes to go with. You know, there's no improvisation. That's what used to make wrestling great, improvisation. You know, you go with the crowd. You remember Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18? Hogan was supposed to be the bad guy. They both basically switched roles geniusly. You know, say what you will about fucking Hulk Hogan. You know, he absolutely knew how to work a crowd fucking well. And you just don't have that anymore in WWE, because everything is heavily, it's a business fucking plan. You know, it's of course business is important and you have to make a profit, but this company is just so rigid and structured and corporate. It's, you know, wrestling is an art form. You know, wrestling should be an art form, and the whole point of art is it needs to be able to breathe, to flourish. You know, it needs creativity. You know, all that kind of bullshit, you know. But wrestling is an art form, and it will never be able to shock people and kind of entertain if it's just completely rigid and uncreative, and that's the situation at the moment. There's just nothing for the wrestlers to do to kind of switch shit around, and Batista winning it was a disaster. I mean, it really was a disaster for a start. I hadn't seen the Raw like last few weeks. I've been away on holiday, but when I saw, for the first time I saw Batista tonight was for the first time in 4 years, and I didn't give a shit. And he looks a lot smaller. He looks old. He looks he's like 46 or some shit. I couldn't believe how old he is. He looks shit, and just to have this fucking guy come out of nowhere and win it, awful decision. Really awful decision. I think it says a lot about the WWE that they couldn't just say, hey, this isn't going to work. We're going to fucking go with it. You know, obviously WWE like, oh, this is just one crowd, which is ridiculous because crowds have been cheering for Daniel Bryan all over the country during other people's matches. So the WWE are never going to change their fucking attitude, which is a shame. But, you know, Batista winning it was a disaster. You know, again, it's a disgrace. This guy's away for 4 years. Whoops, WrestleMania main event. You know, if I was a wrestler in that company, I'd be disgusted. You know, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, these guys work their asses off week in, week out. This fucking Batista prick who's over, he's dead, man, he looks shit. This guy just comes back out of nowhere, gets a fat paycheck, and, you know, gets the main event in WrestleMania. I'd be disgusted, man. So, it's interesting times in my opinion in wrestling because things have got to change. So, overall, I'm not gonna lie, like I actually did enjoy this pay-per-view. Like I think it was definitely something that could be significant in the future. It would definitely be the kind of show, maybe 5 years time, if things have hopefully changed, that I definitely wouldn't mind checking out again because it could be a significant one. So yeah, it was an entertaining show, and the Royal Rumble was alright. Kofi Kingston did some cool jumping shit as usual. But yet again, just like last fucking year when The Rock came back and buried CM Punk, same old shit, same old fucking stars. And don't give me this horse shit about business, good for business bollocks. If you believe that shit, you're swallowing the pill. It's not good for business. What's WWE going to do? WWE going to do in 2 years' time when Batista and Cena and all that, Undertaker, they're all fucking old and retired? What the fuck is the WWE going to do then? Nothing. This is why the future is now. Now you market and make stars out of Daniel Bryan. Like, are you trying to seriously tell me Batista is at the moment really a bigger star than Daniel Bryan? Of course, maybe it's the casual fans, but you can have Batista on the WrestleMania card, get those casual fans in, and then when those casual fans watch WrestleMania, you put your fucking younger stars in the spotlight so those casual fans think, oh shit, this Daniel Bryan guy is cool. You don't have the casual fans come back and watch a fucking 46-year-old cunt and Batista come back out of nowhere and put him in the fucking show. The same guy who, main evented WrestleMania almost fucking 10 years ago? 10 fucking years ago? Holy shit. That would be like WrestleMania 17, the main event. This is fucking hilarious. If WrestleMania 17 did what basically WrestleMania 30 is doing now, the main event would be Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan instead of The Rock versus Stone Cold. Because almost 10 years ago, fucking Batista was in the main event against Triple H. 10 years later, you got the same guy in the main event. It's ridiculous, man, and it's not good for business. You want to get these big stars in, sell some tickets, fine. But you bring them here to put over young fucking stars instead of burying them. So, fuck you WWE. But I'm very intrigued to see whether they're going to pull their heads out of their asses or not. So, one thing I'll give the fucking company credit for is everyone's talking about the product right now. So, right now it's a very interesting time to be a wrestling fan. So Royal Rumble 2014, definitely an interesting show. If I was giving it a grade, maybe I'd give it 6.5 out of 10, or maybe even 7. It really wasn't that bad. But definitely an interesting show to watch, that's for goddamn sure. So check it out, and that's my opinion. Subscribe.